We're doing it live.
Fuck it. We're doing it
We're
live.
doing it live.
We're
Jesus.
Good? All right. Pop
An
in this
hour.
brewski.
This is an hour of us trying to figure out how to do some sort of audio.
All we had to do is switch it to automatic.
Yeah, we had to do switch automatic. Fucking hell.
Fuck, you know.
Oh, Jesus
Fact,
Christ.
you do. All right. Well, in that case, I'm propping up these brewskis here.
Oh, yeah, what you got right there?
So, what you just heard on the microphone is the sound of the Shogun by Embolden Brewery out of San Diego, California. This is utilizing different hops, such as... Oh, fuck with the ingredients. Let's go. So this is the Hojicha lager.
These old eyes.
Made with it is made with ceremonial grade Hojicha from Uji, Kyoto.
Norman, is that you?
It's called Dusk in Kyoto. So here we go. I'm pour you for it.
Dusk in Kyoto. Do you think they're trying to hop on the Shogun train that was so popular of the show?
Shit, maybe. That'd be a good idea.
That would be good.
Ooh, that shit looks nice and yellow.
Ooh,
nice hay, nice gold.
We're talking about the beer, of course.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of PP in a jar. All right.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Ooh, room temp.
Ooh.
I
I thought that'd be a lot cooler.
I love it.
Cheers.
Good. Cheers.
Plum pie.
You know, I should take a picture.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There we go.
So
That's the stuff right there.
given to me by my friend and coach Dan. He gave me these lagers. They are featuring ceremonial teas. So we have the Hojicha lager. I should say beers, not lagers. But this one in particular is the Hojicha lager. Beautiful golden color. Looks like a cider almost. And then next to that we have the matcha hazy. So ceremonial matcha green tea. Very, very high-end teas first to be ceremonial. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm about to give this a little snifter here.
The cans look really cool.
They look really super sick.
Oh shit. That smells interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
Oh, wonderful news. It's not actually... Ooh, that's really good. Ooh, it has a little bit of that tannic kind of finish to it from the tea.
You're tannic, bud.
I try. If I ain't taking the moisture out your mouth, what am I doing, dude?
Again.
Yeah.
How you get in trouble, sir. Oh, man. So,
That's good.
how's your week, brother? Oh, I gotta drink it too. I'm just sitting here watching you drink.
Yeah, bro. No,
trying
I'm
to
telling
fucking
you.
talk to
It's
You're
like
over here
it's like I'm drinking beer and tea at the same time.
fucking balls deep in this thing.
It's fucking delicious. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's good when we got things. So I'll take this for my wife. She might like it.
You want to take the rest of it?
No.
Oh, I was like, that's fine. I can put it in the fridge right now.
No.
She didn't get it all flat.
Hey, baby, should we try this beer?
I really saved you some.
It tastes like water.
No, it tastes like Hojicha
Why do you
lager.
do this to me?
Lager.
Good Lord.
That's delicious.
There's going to be 81 degrees tomorrow in Oakland, it said.
You're fucking lying.
No, I said it.
I'm glad I didn't put away my AC.
Yeah, you're going to want to just get a tube
Holy
just blowing
shit.
right on your cheeks.
I'm telling you, bro.
Right in the crack. Oh,
Keep it nice
it's just
and fresh.
78.
So fresh and so clean.
Good Lord. It was just rain. It rained like 2 days ago.
Did it?
Yeah.
I must have been
In the
inside.
morning. Like, it was before you wake up.
Yeah,
let's be
definitely.
honest.
Yeah, that was long before my eyes had opened.
You know.
It was probably near more to the time that I was closing them to go to bed. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Tasty, very tasty.
You know, sometimes, beer.
Beer.
That's all I'd say.
Coffee. Beer. So yeah, my week was fine. I didn't do much of nothing exciting. No fancy meals at Mr. Jew's or anything like that. It was more tamed and at home. What do? We went to our typical island taqueria. We do an island taqueria day where Chan will get a bean and cheese, solid bean and cheese from Island in Alameda. And I'll get like some chicken tacos and then a bean and cheese as well.
Is that the place that Wes likes a lot?
Yeah, same one that Wes likes. I like it because the beans remind me of home a little bit. So it's pretty nice. And then my Saturdays I usually
With a bullet in it.
Yeah, dude. Actually, fuck. It's funny that you say that. It wasn't a bullet, but there was a. When you open a bag of beans and sometimes there's like debris.
Yeah, the hard one, yeah.
Yeah. So there was a rock in one at one time. I almost lost my fucking tooth. I was like,
where you gotta
what
check
the
'em,
hell?
dude.
Yeah, I know. It's when you're
It's a pain
making
in the
when you're
ass.
making them at home. You open what, a pound When you're doing it shit in a restaurant, you're doing it by the fucking bag, like a big ass Costco.
A colander and
Yeah,
just kinda
rinse it.
rinse it.
Get off the dust, the rat shit. So yeah, they missed that one. So I almost fucking broke my tooth. Thank you. And so like I've been super off put.
Full service here.
I've been off put by it. So Shannon's like, just get over it. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to lose a tooth.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, get me dental and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that and I get my Saturdays. I do menudo
Oh, okay.
from the same place that I mentioned, like in episode 1. It's Tacos
yeah.
El Zamarano, down there in right off of High Street exit, right across the street, catty corner from the Hells Angels headquarters in Oakland. Bangin' menudo. I highly recommend it to anybody that's in the neighborhood.
Is there Fruitvale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on that strip.
That's cool. I just realized we forgot to introduce yourselves.
That small boy is drunk.
I'm drunk! D-R-U-N-K.
There's only one beer left.
I drank the vodka. I was intoxicated. I drank all of those days in excess.
What's your drink, dude?
White Russian, thanks.
Welcome to the Local Drunks Podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Saul.
By the way, this is Saul,
And this is Daniel.
and this is the Local Drunks. You can
Podcast.
find us on Instagram at.
Local Drunk Spot.
You can find us on Patreon at.
Local Drunk Spot.
And you could. Excuse me, sorry.
And you can burp into the microphone.
And make it. Let's get real
Get
sexy.
it, damn, bro. That thing is dripping moist over there. What did you do to that?
You know,
Condensation.
one day too, if you listen to long enough, you'll learn how to deep throat.
Ooh, dirty.
And then you can also find us on YouTube at.
Local Drunks Pod.
Yep. And then if you have any questions, comments,
LocalDrunksPod@gmail.com.
very nicely done. And
like
also
that?
too, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please rate us. No one has done it yet.
Please give us a rating because we need your help.
Yeah, be honest. 5 stars would be great, but if you just don't like it, if it's 1 star, hey, just rate us. Just put something.
If you put 1 star, I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna fucking kill you. Good lord. Maybe
And by
we
that
cut
he
that
means
part.
the chef like kill you, and he's gonna make you a lot of food, and then you won't be able to walk.
I'm gonna kill you with kindness. That's what I meant to say. I was gonna be like, why not?
Man,
Why don't you
king
like
of
this?
reach arounds.
I mean, come on. We only act like we know what we're talking about.
Only sometimes.
The king of Richara.
The king.
I just can't wait to be king.
Long live the king.
Long, long indeed, brother.
Yeah. All right. So
So,
you went, got some food, and then you watch anything or read anything lately?
shit, brother. I've been reading The Way of Whiskey from David Brewing. Me and Spency Boy have been chatting up about some whiskeys. We went out the other week to Viridian. I finally got my Toki Highball from the Toki Highball machine from Suntory.
Oh yeah.
It is Suntory time. That's probably racist and probably because
We are coming from you live. From Chinatown.
we are drinking Shogun. Just so you know, I have a beer. I was kidding. This is so yeah. We got into it. Viridian. I got some cocktails there. I got the Toki Highball. It was delicious. And so we were talking about Ichiro's Malt, which is a distiller from Chichibu, the only distiller in Chichibu, as far as I'm aware, but maybe there's others. But we were talking about his grains, his blends, and then we were also talking. I've been reading Whiskey Advocate, came out last month with Japanese best Japanese
best
whiskeys.
Japanese whiskeys, yeah.
So I've been reading that as well. Did you know that Japan often imports whiskey, and once they age it in their barrels, they can say it was produced in Japan?
They used to.
That's what the book says.
Yeah, they used to. They just changed the law about 2 years ago to where it actually has to be produced in Japan now.
But that's to be Japanese whiskey. But if it's product of Japan, they can still import it in. The issue with it is that people aren't clear about it. So they're circumventing it by saying that. So if you have a Japanese whiskey, then it has to be distilled, produced.
So if you call it Japanese whiskey,
it has to
but
be.
you can say it's a product of Japan.
If it's a product of Japan, then
Whiskey.
you can import that whiskey from any other
Interesting.
country.
I thought them creating the rule, because it literally was legislated like 2 years ago, that in order for it to be
Japanese whiskey.
Japanese whiskey.
Right.
That's funny that they wouldn't specify
Right,
like
right. And that's the issue that they're saying.
they're
They're like,
sticklers for rules.
right, which is the irony of it all. And so it's
That's
just
so
like
weird.
I'll show you the article, bro.
Yeah.
I thought it was the strangest thing too, because even Nika from the Barrel, they used different blends from out of the state.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh, it's in the magazine? Yeah, the magazine's up to date. So I read that article too, but I didn't read that. I think I like skimmed it and like read
Yeah,
it.
for sure. It's cool to see all the little places.
Yeah.
Let me read you this quote from Whiskey Advocate. Bring me my readers. Labeling standards for Japanese whiskey.
Right.
Japan has a long tradition of importing bulk whiskeys for blending. It's perfectly legal to bring in whiskey, age it, blend it, and sell it, labeled as, quote, product of Japan, unquote, even though it wasn't distilled there. This loophole, coupled with the fact that some of these brands do their best not to talk about the issue, has created some confusion in the marketplace. To bring greater clarity, in 2001, which is what you're talking about, I think, trade group of Japanese spirits and liquor makers association established new labeling standards for whiskey, but these are voluntary guidelines, so you don't have to. It's not mandatory, and don't go far enough. For one thing, they ratify the phrase "product of Japan" for productions with imported whiskey. If you're seeking out a purely Japanese whiskey, you need to study the label carefully and look for the words, quote, Japanese whiskey, unquote. That means the product has compiled with the stricter Japanese labeling standards on provenance, as shown in the box here. Bear in mind, however, that some foreign component whiskeys are excellent, i.e. Ichiro's malt and grain, for example, scored 90 points with our panel, and Nika from the Barrel at 94 points was our 2018 Whiskey of the Year. Both producers are upfront about their provinces. On the Chita Peninsula outside Osaka, Nika's most renowned distillery, aside from Yoichi's, is Miyagi-kyo, set in a foggy glen and juncture. Anyway, that just goes on for that. But yeah.
Dang, that's wild.
Yeah, so that is...
So if it says product of Japan,
Product of
it
Japan
technically
doesn't mean
it
that they
was
made it
distilled
there.
in Japan.
It means
just
they couldn't
that
import a
just
whiskey.
aged it.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Isn't it so
Why
weird?
would you only go halfway?
I think it's because that suffering. Okay, so like a lot of it is in reference to World War II era.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't have any access to any American oak, so they had to use Mizunara.
Yeah.
And that really constricted their supply. So I think in order to bounce back, they kind of left that lackadaisical and like open, so that way they can still produce and still blend, because blending is more their art style, right? It's the mastering of blending those flavors, and so I think that's why they leave it open. I can't. I speak for myself though. That's just an educated guess. I don't really know why they would do that.
That's wild to me. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation.
So you guys who have 80 bottles of Japanese whiskey.
You fucking idiots.
And you
Actually,
brag
no, if
about
you
it.
have Japanese whiskey on the label, then you have
Yeah.
purely Japanese whiskey. However, if you have a delicious Nika from the Barrel, have you had Nika from the Barrel?
Yes, it's delicious.
That shit is awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Ichiro's malt and grain, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But they just blend. You
It's
know,
wild. Well, you know what? Blending is its own
it's an art.
mastery in general.
Right.
So, like, there's people who just blend, like, in distilleries. That's their only job.
Lost
is to blend
Lantern.
and barrel master.
Yeah.
Lost Lantern does it. All they do is blend from other people's stuff. And then there's literally hundreds of distilleries where they just have a blender that all they do is blend their whiskey.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, shit, dude, they have a palate like that.
Full-time job, bro.
I mean, look at Art, look at Dave.
Yeah, but he also distills, too.
Yeah,
He's just our master blender just because
he got that palate.
Dude, yeah, that dude's nose is insane.
You can smell what you had for breakfast.
Yeah, no, seriously. No, he was sitting downstairs one day and he was like, "Does someone else smell toast, or am I having a stroke?" And he was like in the lab.
Oh God, Dave!
And I think Mike was upstairs toasting bread.
Jesus Christ, dude, relax.
Hella deep. And
Fucking
I was just like,
Bloodhound
That's
nose.
hella far,
He's
bro.
over there like, boo.
yeah. So he digs up truffles on his lunch.
He's like, oh, I got you. I'll go get it.
Hold on.
Let me just
want-
wander outside
You
here.
want black? You want the real rare white ones?
Oh,
I
I
have to go
got-
to Italy for that.
Got a couple of them in my pants. If you...
Jesus Christ. This is how you get fired.
So it's come to our attention that you are speaking about the company.
Always check at the root of the base of the tree.
That's where the counting starts.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't know how we got on the subject. Oh, because we were talking about Shogun.
Shogun, yeah. But
We were talking. Yeah, I was talking to Spencer about it. And then
Yeah,
I read Way Whiskey. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
ADHD people, ADD. So yeah, we were just talking about that, and so I was just like, oh, let me bust out this old book here, and I started reading about the process. Mizunara in itself, I read a lot about because they do little inserts about it. A lot about this crazy fucking wood, what it imparts, and why it's not used a lot. The only reason they use it, because it's actually rare in Japan, is because of World War II.
Yeah.
Let's not forget what side they were on. You know what I mean? they conveniently they leave that part out of the book. I was like, I believe the anyway.
Rations?
Yeah, and so it grows like in Russia, Siberia, not Russia, but Siberia, and then like on those islands as well. So it's a bit more northern, and then like Hokkaido is where it was. So they have it, but when settlers moved in, they tore out all those forests so they can
Do farmland.
do farmland, agriculture. So they lost all that wood. And also on top of that, it's extremely hard to process because it's literally mizu, which is water, and then nara, which is oak. So it's water oak. So extremely waterlogged, low on a component in wood that blocks the pores. I forgot it's called like lyosis or some shit like that. And so it's not a good wood to use to make whiskey, bottom line. But it does impart a unique flavor, coconut, sandalwood, and then like they use it for furniture a lot and for utensils and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, cool. So just picking up the book and then reading about it. And then I got to learn about Ichiro and how he basically bought the last stock of failing distilleries in Japan before they all went under when whiskey went a bust. Lord have mercy. And so he bought a lot of the stock from, I forgot which two like renowned distillers, and then held onto that stock and blended it, and then was blending and then made the Chichibu distillery. So yeah, a lot of history. And
Yeah,
shit.
there's originally like over 20 distilleries, and then after
Dude.
the distillery bubble burst over there, there's only like 8 now.
So what happened? They got all hot and horny about whiskey, and then they
Yeah, dude, I think it was happening in the 90s, like late 80s or 90s, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I think it was just when their yen collapsed.
Oh,
And then
shit.
just
I hope that doesn't happen
just-
again.
Well, their yen never really bounced back. That's like, it's been years now, and people are just like, oh, yeah, like the yen's higher than it usually is, but it's still not as strong as the dollar. So,
I can't lie to you. I actually went out and bought some the other day because it's a 40-year exchange low. So I was like, if there's any time I'm going to be able to afford, especially prior to my schooling, it's now. So I went out and got a couple hundred.
yeah, as well. Cool, man.
So yeah, that's what I did this week. Watched a little TV too. I've been watching Neon Genesis.
Oh, Evangelion?
Evangelion, brother.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't watched that since I was probably in junior high.
Damn, this is the Japanese themed
The Japanese
episode.
That's so funny. I did nothing Japanese.
Wow. Way to change.
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
And we're shifting gears here.
We're global.
Are we ready for second beer?
Yeah, we're ready for that.
Shoo. Okay, we're going to
That's
pop
the first one.
the Shogun by Embolden Matcha Hazy IPA. Picture of Mount Fuji in the background, and what I'm assuming is Tokyo. Midnight in Tokyo is what it's called. Matcha Hazy Indian. This is using Citra, Mosaic, New Zealand, Cascade hops, and ceremonial grade matcha from Uji, Kyoto. 7.5.
Nice.
Oh, fuck. I didn't expect that.
You try to be all cute with it,
I did. Ooh, that smells good.
and then you spilt it all over yourself.
Dan, I think we got a wiener.
All
Look at
right,
that green
while
tinge.
we
Look
are-
at my.
What are you doing?
I don't
Have you ever poured beer before in your whole
Apparently
life?
not,
You poured
bro.
half of it on the floor.
I didn't
Hey, man,
intend
it ain't my house.
Ooh, it's a little savory. That green.
Oh wow, that smells interesting. Incredible Hulk over here.
Oh, yeah, you're not gonna like it when I'm drunk. Oh fuck! I just spilled that all on my sock. I got a soggy ass sock.
That happens.
Wouldn't be the first time. You know what I mean, kids?
Puberty.
I'm sopping it up
Oh,
here.
Jesus Christ. At least not on the floor. No, Shan won't come in and beat you to death.
ShamWow, guys. I just said,
Not
not again.
Won't come in and beat you half to death.
The slap chop, man.
No. Territorial wars.
Dude, it's a good balance of that
Yeah,
fucking.
that's good actually.
This is like an IPA that I don't mind drinking. It's got those like kind of esters, and then it's got that fucking tannin from the fucking matcha, and then that green note. It's not overly matcha though.
No, it's a nice compliment.
Adds a bit of a
Flavors will work well together.
adds a bit of umami into there.
Ooh, umami.
Ooh, umami.
What are you talking about umami for?
So yeah, what did you do? How was your week?
Oh, it's been
Tell me all the
pretty good.
Japanese things you did.
You know what I did?
You're like, I had sushi.
I drove by a sushi spot.
Sniff the air.
Yes, yeah. No, so went to Lucky 13 with some coworkers.
Hell yeah.
And then ended up
Classic.
Hitting Al's Big Burger actually a week ago with my family.
Uh-huh.
Al's is a burger spot in Albany.
Oh,
It's
I fuck with Albany.
on the border of Albany and El Cerrito. And it's on San Pablo. And that used to be our spot when we lived West Berkeley, South Albany area. And we used to go up there like once every week and get burgers.
Nice.
The classic like charbroiled. It's
called Big Al's?
It's called Al's Big Burger.
Oh.
Home of the 3rd pound burger.
Damn.
Yeah, they're not quarter pound like everybody else because America was dumb.
That's the story I wanted to tell you. I was going to say, fun fact.
You get fun
Bazinga. No, you already know the story, though. But I guess we'll tell it to the
they know that,
guests.
yeah.
So, A&W Root Beer. Was it A&W that did put the third pound out first?
So yeah.
To compete with McDonald's quarter pounder. So McDonald's had the quarter pounder. A&W tried to compete with that by putting out a third of a pound. And was not able to beat the sales because Americans thought that a quarter of a pound was more than a third of a pound. And so because of that, they had to discontinue it and they lost money on that shit.
Yeah.
Brilliant, America.
That's how you do it. Fractions and the metric system we just don't know anything about.
I do struggle with the fractions.
But yeah, they were they used to be closed on Sundays, and we were up there on a Sunday, and we're like, oh damn, they're open. So, and I'd forgotten right before we moved, they were named by the SF Chronicle like one of the best burgers in the Bay.
No shit.
So
In your opinion, is it?
Yeah, I think it is. In that area for sure.
Let me get a fucking layer by layer layout right quick.
So bun,
Boom.
meats,
Aye. No sauce?
layer
by
sauce
layer.
on the top.
Ooh, sauce top?
Yeah, sauce top.
Shit. Diamond in the bag.
Oh yeah, no. So it's bun, lettuce, meats, and then cheese if you get cheese.
Ooh.
And then they do white onion, like a whole freaking thing of white onion.
Like a literal
like a
cut
slice,
out of?
like a cutout of,
like a nation's.
like a nation status white onion.
Damn, that's an onion burger.
And then tomatoes. And then if you want pickles, they'll throw pickles on it. And then
So
sauce.
pickles are if you ask.
Yeah, if you yeah.
Okay.
You used to ask for everything and they'll just give you everything.
Okay.
And then sauce and then bun on top.
Okay. Now what is the sauce?
Oh, I think it's just like mustard ketchup.
Okay.
It's like super classic diner like burger.
That sounds lovely.
So, but it has like that nice char on there from the charbroiling.
Are those the charbroiled burgers?
Yeah,
then?
the charbroiled burgers.
Straight
yeah.
on the grill.
Yeah, on the grill.
Height.
So, there's a couple of other burger spots that are kind of like that. But it's pretty good. The other one that's kind of like that is Smokehouse down in Berkeley.
Bro, I literally
Yeah.
went there I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but it's a solid
Yeah.
spot. Like,
Yeah, Smokehouse is a good spot.
It's like
they have great milkshakes.
don't even get me started.
the milkshakes are
We
hella
were
good.
this close to getting one last
You
night.
should have got one.
I wanted to, but I've been eating good. You know, I've been drinking less, even though I'm drinking now. This week in particular, I'm drinking all day. Had a highball, but you know it's fine. No, but we saw the milkshakes, and Jen was like, "Do you want to get a milkshake?" And I was like, "No," because I got a fucking chicken burger.
Dude, they do oat milk milkshakes there.
I saw the Oatly. They had
Yeah,
Oatly's Oatly.
you could have done it healthy and got the oat milk
I
one.
still throw fucking cookies in there.
Dude, they're good.
I didn't need the sugar.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but Alice has a good pineapple milkshake.
Ooh,
Very tasty.
like a Dole Whip or just like an actual milkshake pineapple?
Milkshake pineapple. Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Fire.
Smokehouse is good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would rate just because we ate owls more. I don't know. It's
Similar style though.
similar style, but Smokehouse I don't think is charbroiled.
They have a big ass grill.
They have a big ass grill. Yeah.
I don't know if they use charcoal though.
Yeah.
I guess it's charbroil just means open flame, no?
Yeah, open flame. Yeah.
I don't know because I work. Did I tell you my first job was at Carl's Jr.?
Nah. Oh yeah.
It's
You told me
technically a
about that.
charbroil. It's like a propane grill that you throw on you throw these fucking hamburger patties on a conveyor belt and it comes out on the other side,
Yeah.
and they're charbroiled. The funnest part was cleaning that charbroil machine at the end of the
bet.
night. Had a fucking ravenous acne. Cheeks were clogged, bro. I won't tell you which set though.
It's his first girlfriend thought she was reading Braille whenever she grabbed his ass.
Damn. Why is it all slick?
Why is it? What?
Actually, I didn't have a girlfriend when I was working at Carl's
The
Jr.
best of
Those
times, that
fucking
was the
those
worst of
viejitas though, they were
times.
like, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend?"
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, don't ever say no.
I'll give you a
Just
green-
say yes.
Just say yes. Yeah.
Just say yes. You're better off saying yes. Because one guy was super protective, overly protective of me. I didn't even know this. It was weird, bro. It turned the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm gonna go. I just left.
Damn.
Yeah. Workplace hostility, bro.
That's what it goes.
It's not the way it goes, man.
Happens every
You gotta bring the
day.
good vibes. We're all on the
Happens
shit. We're
everywhere.
all on the shit show together. We gotta bring the good vibes. Anywho.
So yeah,
sorry.
so those are the places I ate at, and then I think I've been reading anything lately that is at least food related. Watched the menu finally.
You watched it?
Watched. the menu.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it actually.
Isn't it not
Yeah,
awesome? Isn't it awesome? Isn't it not great?
not-
I don't know what the fuck. Double negative. Isn't it great?
Isn't it not great?
Isn't it not great?
Yeah, that's three nuts, so it means it is not great. It's
Shit.
fine. Jesus Christ.
Isn't it awesome?
That Central Valley School District.
Thank you, Selma Unified School District.
What do we have? What's that mean?
I can't count how many negatives I used there, bro.
Yeah. No, but I really enjoyed it. It's a very good farce on like what high dining is
for sure.
and it feels like it might have been written by someone who was
Been in the
either
industry.
trying to break in that upper echelon of being famous as a cook or like
Yeah.
was in a kitchen that was really well regarded.
Their consultants that they use for culinary, I actually knew one of the guys.
Oh yeah.
I worked with him at QPA.
Oh damn.
Yeah, Atelier Cren. They brought him in. They brought him in from Atelier Cren.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah. So that a lot of that you're seeing there's a lot of R&D from Atelier Cren.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because I was like, just the way the kitchen moves and everything else, I was like, oh wow, this is actually like really
It's very accurate.
spot on.
Yeah.
And then
Even to the hand claps.
yeah. And then but no, it was a good movie. Well acted. Premise is super rich people go to this restaurant that's on an island. You have to be really rich to get there.
Epstein's Island.
Epstein's Island pretty much is high school everywhere.
No.
There's him and Jared from Subway.
Someone's got to cook the burgers.
And-
Damn. He's like, you want a foot long, baby?
Classic Italian.
Yeah. Oh no.
Welsh?
Be anything for you, baby.
Don't
Don't you know I lost 250 pounds off these bad boys? It was strictly the Subway sandwiches.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was not from chasing children. And we are canceled. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for the
Look,
ride. If
we're
this is the
sorry.
First episode. Thanks for sticking around this long. If this is your 11th episode, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. He goes,
No,
fuck, I don't know.
But yeah, premise is rich people go to this island. You have to have a reservation. You have to pay to get into there. No, I don't think you have to pay to get, but you have to. It's $1,000 to $2,000 or $3,000 per
Right.
type thing, and then things start to go awry. But Ray Fiennes, delightful. Nicholas Hoult, phenomenal.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
That guy is a good actor in general.
Yeah, he really is.
Plays it perfectly. He's kind of like this dude who's a hardcore foodie, and like a lot of hardcore foodies, they think that they can do There are some hardcore foodies that know that they can never do something that the kitchen does.
Yes.
But there are other hardcore foodies who are just like, I bet you I could quit my job
fucking
and I can do
posers.
this. And you're just like, then quit your job and try it. And
Yeah.
they just won't because deep down they know they can't.
Nor do they want to.
Nor do they want to.
Because then you find out what it costs.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And boy, does it cost a lot.
So, well, speaking of freaking, James has a buddy who staged at like Noma for like 3 months or whatever.
Oh, tight.
oh, dang, he was
That
like-
fool spent 3 fucking months picking herbs, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sick.
And he was like, yeah, he goes, he's a bartender now. I go, yeah, bartenders have more fun, bro.
For sure. It's the front of the house for
Yeah,
back of the house for front of the house.
yeah.
That's what we should do, an ad for bartending. Are you sick of your back of the house job? Are you working 16 hours and still can't pay rent? Let me introduce you to bartending. Make all the same money as a server minus the bullshit. That's really what they should tell you.
You not afford your cocaine anymore? Well, guess what?
We have the job position for you. Bartending. You don't even have to make it right. You make enough of them, they'll forget what it tastes like.
I see that. There's 80% of the bartenders out there right now.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Oof.
Fucking hell. And then I started watching this TV show yesterday or 2 days ago called The Boiler Room.
Oh, shit. I love those sets.
It's on fucking Christ. It's on Netflix.
Watch the Zach Fox one. That shit was bussing.
And
Which one's this one? Is this the Korean one?
no, that's Hunger. I wanted to watch Hunger and I just never got around to it. Because I don't have 2 hours in a day to myself anymore.
I mean, shit, bro. You only woke up at 3 a.m. today and didn't go back to bed and went to work at 7.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool. Nothing got spilled or broken at work today.
Nice. It's a
Maybe
good
I
day.
should sleep less more often.
Introducing crystal meth.
Wow, everything got distilled and you cleaned the bathrooms? Yeah, man. I never rearranged your office. I went through that whole file room.
How long have you been here? I never left.
I don't know, after 4 weeks, guys. Don't go into the back.
Oh,
the
I've
back
been
room.
I've been sleeping in the vats.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I'm safe from the shadow people.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to watch Hunger, but I didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I have 45 minutes. So I started watching Boiler Room,
Uh-huh.
which is a nonfiction. It's kind of like England's answer to The Bear. But these people opened up a restaurant called Pointing North, and they do northern cuisine. They didn't really say what it was. I'm guessing it's probably northern English cuisine, maybe. But it's just, I don't know. There's really no definite thing. But there's some baggage because that kitchen crew came from a different restaurant called Johnson and Sons, I think it's called, or something and Sons.
Stanford.
Johns and Sons, where that head chef was a chef of the year, and then he had like a heart attack and a mental breakdown.
Sick.
So then
Typical.
that crew left that restaurant and started a new restaurant.
Damn.
Was I think a
They
manager
left that fool in the
with
dust
a-
at his weakest point.
Yeah. So well, I think that restaurant ended up closing in general. And then so they left and started a new restaurant with I think one of the managers of the old restaurant who put a lot of his own money into it. Now they're
Okay.
like trying to run this restaurant. But it definitely, like when I started watching it, they throw you right into it. And I'm watching it and I'm like, I started getting that restaurant stress.
Uh-huh.
And you're just like,
No, thank you.
oh fuck. I'm like, oh no. And you should at least check out the first episode. See
What
you
is this
think
on
of it.
Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
What year was it
And
made?
I think it's made this year.
Oh, so it's pretty recent.
Yeah, this year or last year. 2023 at the latest.
I will say I like how the English portray fine dining. They do
Yeah.
a better job at it. There's a show I watched from the 90s called Chef
Uh-huh.
with an exclamation point. Beautiful, beautiful iteration
Nice.
of it. But also comedy.
Yeah. And this is definitely one of those like, I'm like, that's not how it is in the kitchen. But they are, you could tell these people had this traumatic experience with this head chef where he was like extremely in your face. He was a huge drunk. I think he was, addicted to pills and all this other stuff. Like you are, like when you like really get super obsessed with something.
As one does.
Sometimes. And so I think what ended up happening was they want to run their kitchen different, so they're a lot nicer to each other.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as something went south, like everyone was yelling at each other. Like, oh, that's exactly how fucking it is. Holy shit. And then they're yelling at servers, and then servers are like, well, I thought this had this and this. They're like, just shut the fuck up and take out the fucking plate. It's fucking done.
Yeah.
Come back for the other one. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's her. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's always right under the surface is like the chaotic kitchen.
Oh, it's
And
bubbling.
you're 45 minutes behind on
always
fucking,
bubbling.
table eight's fucking whatever, and this and this and that. So
Uh-huh.
like, there's always that. So, but I need to watch the rest of the Bear and then I want to finish this show, and I want to start looking at other shows and just kind of seeing. We'll have to do an episode.
I'm down. We should. I'm telling you, professionals watch. Till this day, I did an event this week, and lady asks, "Bear or no bear?" And I'm like, we're all like, "Nah." We're still like we're removed from restaurants because we're doing private events, but at the same time, we don't want to go back to that. We don't want to visit that. We're good.
Yeah.
I don't need that stress.
I think bears for people who like
It's for Yelper 24.
haven't really,
Elite 24.
elites, super hardcore foodies who think that they can do the job.
Yeah.
Or, maybe might be for like the professionals who didn't go as high as they thought they would, and they're just like, oh yeah, that's exactly how it is, and you're just like, oh cool, like you're just diner, like you worked at a diner and you did something else, and then that was it.
I mean, I wouldn't even want to work in a diner.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck
Dude,
that.
you talk about fucking short
orders, dude.
Jesus
Fuck
Christ. Those guys
no.
are iron chefs.
Bro, say what the people at Denny's, man, they have my thoughts and prayers.
Dude.
I can only imagine because not only are you making eggs and sausage and pancakes, but you're making them for a group of people who are poor and entitled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least when the people I worked with or served were entitled, but they were giving me a shitload of money. So I'm just like, hey, whatever you want.
Dude.
But they're over there like, let me get them this way. And we're like, bro, I get paid $5 an hour. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up getting hit with a chair at a Waffle House.
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny because those dudes, like unsung heroes, like breakfast diner like cooks.
Dude, when
shorter
COVID hit,
dude, and
there
then
wasn't
you walk in-
any.
There was, yeah, and you walk in and you're just like, oh hey, we just sat 14 tables and 6 of them are 10 a party 10 or more, and they all. And these 4 tables just ordered, and
Man,
also
I feel like I'm
Stacy-
watching an episode of the fucking.
And now Stacy is coming in with it and punching in her numbers, and you're just like, dude, I gotta knock out 86 stacks of pancakes and 200 dozen fucking eggs right now.
That's
and you're
fucking
just like,
bonkers.
and that's it, and that's the first hour you're at work.
And someone's sending those eggs back because they asked for over medium, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You want over medium, go somewhere where the eggs aren't fucking $2 a pop. Jesus
And that's the
Christ.
real expectation of it, you know?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Edit your expectation when you walk through the door and look around.
Yeah, be aware.
Yeah. But anyway, so boiler room looks interesting. There's definitely some kind of like, why the fuck are you doing that moments?
Yeah.
But yeah, what show doesn't have that?
Right.
And then
for dramatization.
Yeah. And then other than that, it's just those two. I don't think I'm reading.
Did she watch it too?
She watched it when it first came out.
No way.
And then she's always been bugging me. And then like it wasn't free. I think it's on Amazon right now for free.
Yeah.
But it wasn't free. I think it's going to be free through October, and then they're going to pull it again. But then they pull it, and they do some other things, and then like a couple of months later, it'll come out on something else.
Sick.
So that's a good one to check out. It is Halloween season.
Halloween.
So people are like
Spooky
there's a
shit.
lot of free horror.
They want the
movies. So,
spooky shit.
that's what we've been really focusing on recently. Is just like horror movies, just because. That's
Oh, you got the fam, huh?
Yeah, we got the fan.
What are you guys watching?
We've
You
been
making
watching
your way through things?
We've been watching 2 things with my daughter, who's 8. I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
And then
Nice.
also
Classic.
The Twilight Zone. She loves the Twilight Zone.
Twilight
The
Zone's
old one.
freaky,
Rod
bro.
Sterling.
Those are freaky.
She loves them.
Imagine, if you will,
Yeah.
2 drunk assholes in a room.
Recorders up their ass.
And they just ran out of beer. Oh, no, wait. They still have some. Give me your glass, you piece
And
of
a man
shit.
who swore off IPA just drank half of one.
But he's still drinking IPAs.
He's half sober and half in the
Drunk.
Twilight Zone.
Oh, my God. It's like me.
He's taken one step out. He has 1 foot in the car.
There's something
and
on the
1 foot out into the Twilight Zone.
Imagine, if you will.
Dude, that's how the guy used to write the scripts. He used to actually record them.
You just fuck around?
He would just read them like how
This
he
fool was
talks.
ad-libbing episodes?
Yeah, he was like ad-lib. Like he would just walk around his office and just record like voice memo them,
That's brilliant.
and then
Imagine, if you
his
will.
secretary I think would type them out. Like after a while, his secretary started typing out because he would type them out originally.
Stacy, take note.
Yeah, no, like it's funny because I can't remember who I was listening to on a podcast, and they said like he would just start rambling off his grocery list like halfway through. Just you'd have to change and like write it out because he'd be like,
Imagine, if you will.
imagine if you will.
Also, Buko.
yeah.
Wilshank,
Yeah.
lube.
2 bottles.
2 bottles. I need a Diddy-sized portion because he exists.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you will, a party that required barrels of lubricant. You're now entering the Diddy zone.
The Diddy zone. Baby oil, baby oil.
Oh, no.
Oh man. So I was perusing Reddit this week
Okay.
because I hate myself.
I like it.
And the question popped out in Ask SF, and the
Oh.
question was, "What restaurant feels the most like SF to you?"
Oh, wow. That is a good one.
Some of the things that were actually posted were, I think Bix was one of them.
Oh, I could see that. Swan oyster for sure, right?
Yamo, Sotomayor, Soto.
The Supreme Justice?
I don't know. But yeah, this is Sotomayor. Pizzetta 211, Emmy's Spaghetti Shack.
Never been there.
Sam Wo, which is one of the oldest restaurants in Chinatown, I think.
Sam, whoa.
And then Tommy's Joint.
Tommy's Joint. Tommy's Joint's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's classic Hofbrau.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you tried to think about it, Reddit question of the week. What restaurant feels the most like SF to you?
My response?
Yeah.
Swan Oyster Depot, hands down.
Oh, yeah, Swan Oyster was
That shit is fucking through and through. Seafood, you know what I mean? That's what we started on. I mean, and that's like, I know it's multi-generational, but my approach to 12 years of being here, nothing like a really just, I'm not, and that's not to say that none of these restaurants don't match the same kind of vibe, but it's like you go, it's like you go into this place, it has the same vibe. This place still has the chipped marble fucking countertop. It has the same families of service that have been in there since the beginning. The son of the dad, or I think the grandson at this point.
Yeah.
And then all the same crew with the same demeanor, which is weird because it's like time kind of freezes it there. You know what I mean? But you bring in a bottle of champagne, you bring in a bottle of fucking wine, you give some to the boys. They give you a little hit of this and that. Try one of these. And it's just like real hospitality. You know what I mean? It's like you're walking into someone's house, and that's how I feel like it's still rooted there. Shout out to Marino if you're listening to this somehow. That's the boy.
Yeah, it's definitely, and their service is different too because it is like.
What do you want?
Yeah, it is, and it is tighter too. Like the area, it's not a huge spot.
Dude, it's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's pretty much a counter, pretty much.
That's why you got to build rapport. Because if you build rapport, then you walk up to the window and you show them that you're holding a bottle and shit. They'll be like, "Come in," and then they'll pour you fucking beer as you wait, and they'll give you a little appetizer while you wait too. Yeah. It's just like you build rapport with them. But yeah, super fucking tight.
That's a good answer. Damn. For me?
For you?
Damn, that's a good fucking question. Too.
Imagine if you will.
It's funny because I wrote this question down. I didn't even think about it. I just wrote it down and just kept moving.
Autopilot.
Moved along.
Hey, well, that's a good fucking question.
It's a script, bro.
Do us a favor, will you? Go to localdrunkspod@gmail.com and let us know your opinion on what restaurant feels most San Francisco to you. Because it's like what decade are you? What decade of San Francisco? What era? What perspective from San Francisco? You know what I mean? Like, because then also too. Oh fuck, I forgot the place. But on Castro, there's a diner. If you're coming up from Market, you turn left. It's on the right hand side. It's been there for like fucking I can't even tell you how many years. But I walked in there maybe like half a year ago, and they're like, "Hey," and I was like, "You remember me?" They're like, "We recognize your face." And I was like, I was here 5 years ago. Yeah. And they're like, oh, because I would go in all the time. I lived on 17th for a bit. And so it's just a classic fucking breakfast joint. But that felt like anytime I go to Castro, that's where I go. You know what I mean? That was my version of San Francisco Castro's district. That and the orange fucking Mexican joint across the street. That shit was bomb too. So give us your opinion. We'd love to hear what restaurant feels most San Francisco to you or makes you reminiscent of a certain district in San Francisco. I think this is a good question, man. This is one that we should definitely put out to the guests, put it out to the listeners, all 4 of you guys. Shout out.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And that's the truth too, because like it's hard to pick one because every single district feels different.
They all feel different. They all have a different vibe.
San Francisco.
You know, you go to 24th Street, you got to get the zoot suits. Fucking posting up. Think about it.
Pizza spots like North Beach would probably like, you know what I mean? Just because it is a heavily Italian district in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
For some immigrants over there.
Original Joe's.
Yeah. Like even Tommy's too, because Tommy's has been there for so long as well.
Yeah.
But that feeling of Hofbrau's.
Hofbrau's are gone,
it doesn't
man.
have that, this is San Francisco food anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just not that way.
It's just a good fucking, that was the old Irish fucking, like, you ever go to Lefty O'Doul's when it was here?
No, I didn't.
That place is fucking awesome, dude.
That guy was based on a real person.
The actual baseball player?
Yeah, actual baseball player. That was him who started that company. It was Lefty O'Doul.
Damn, that was that dude. That's
was him,
fucking
yeah.
cool. See, bring
played-
back the times where athletes and celebrities had cool restaurants.
Yeah, he played for the San Francisco Seals.
Oh,
He
shit.
played with DiMaggio, Joe DiMaggio before DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio is a San Francisco guy, or a Bay Area guy.
Maggio.
And then he played for 1 year in like 36, 37 for the Seals. And then he went to the Yankees right after.
Oh,
He
shit.
became fucking Joe DiMaggio.
Damn.
Anyway.
That's pretty fucking cool.
But yeah, Lefty O'Doul played. I can't remember if Lefty O'Doul played for the Giants when they arrived or not. He might have been one of the only players from the Seals that actually played for the Giants. I have to look that up. It's been a long time.
Time for the San Francisco Seals halftime show.
The Seals had a stadium down in the Mission.
Terrible location.
It was like.
That was sure to look completely different back in the day, yeah.
So then they tore it down and then they built Candlestick and like.
But that Hofbrau was fucking banging. They had a piano in the front, grand piano in the front. The servers were just these fucking raggedy, rundown cocktail waitresses, but they were like they were about that life, you know. Like I'm sure if you handed one a cigarette, they'd smoke it right there. I remember I went over there and I was like, "Can I get a dirty Shirley?" And she's like some kind of like I don't know where she was from, but she was like, "What did you ask me?" And I was like, "Can I get a dirty Shirley?" She goes, "A dirty Shirley? What is this?" And I was like, "It's a Shirley Temple, but you put vodka in it." And she goes, "And it's called a dirty Shirley."
That's so funny.
And she was fucking dying, bro. And I was like, I like this place a lot. And then they closed.
I would say the one, because I haven't lived here for so super long. When I did show up, it was a pandemic, so everything was kind of closed.
Oh, shit.
But as I ran around San Francisco for one of my jobs,
Oh, yeah. You've seen some things.
the one restaurant that I'd say 8 out of 10 people say, hey, if you can go, is House of Prime Rib.
Oh, dude, that place is
So,
awesome. That is
I
definitely a
think,
San
like,
Francisco
yeah,
vibe.
I think that's like.
Good luck
I've
trying to
never
fucking
been.
go, though.
Yeah. I've never been, but like all people who grew up in San Francisco, that was like their special occasion place to go eat.
Yeah, or Izzy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I would say like if I were to think of a San Francisco spot I have not been to yet.
Let's make a
Prime Rib.
reservation now for fucking 13 months out.
Oh, are they that hella busy?
I think it's like 4 or 5 or 6 months, something like that.
I have a buddy, Olivia, who I used to work with at this brewery out of San Francisco, and her parents have like a standing reservation like once a month or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. There's people that have that.
And then they know them or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's one of those. She was like SF born and bred. Her mom's from like SF. Her dad is British, but he moved to SF, and they met, and that was
Englishman.
it.
Does
So,
he get the
yeah.
English card then?
So, but yeah, she could do a really good English accent, and then
That's pretty cool.
yeah, no, she tells me the craziest stories. Like her mom's like best friends with like Carlos Santana's ex-wife, so like, she got to keep the house in Mexico.
Is she
or
the black
whatever.
magic woman?
She is the black magic woman.
Holy
And she got to
shit.
keep the house in Mexico, so like she goes down there like every 3 months or whatever, and she'll like take her mom there all the time. So I'm like, damn, dude, that's fucking sick.
I'm trying to meet the black magic woman.
Yeah, no, so, but no, good question. Hit us up either in the comments if you're on YouTube.
We should post this one to the Instagrams
The
too.
Instagrams too, yeah.
I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, I'll
Put out a poll.
Put out a poll, and then we'll talk about it next week. And then next week we'll have a different. If you guys see a good Reddit question, send it to us. You guys have a good question, send it to us,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about it.
Especially about restaurants.
Exactly.
And alcohol.
So we got some news, a lot of news. We're gonna there's so much
Breaking news.
because last week was a little bit of a different episode. We bounced around to a bunch of different bars.
It was an absolute shit show.
Yeah, and it's hard to drink and talk, and
It's like, because we're set out with these high goals, and then as we progressively get drunk, we're just like, hey, we end this today. Fuck that guy.
So it's definitely we will probably be doing that every so often.
Snippets, though.
But snippets, and then also we are talking about recording and then going out and then getting a couple of drinks and recording that experience and then putting it up on the Patreon.
Fuck yeah.
So we do have 3 tiers of the Patreon. We have one, which is Lousy Tipper. It's $1. Gives you early access to the episodes. $5 a month is going to be Drinking Buddy.
And feed pics.
And feed pics, yes. And it gets you, of course, early access along with some other things like this extra episode that we're going to publish every single week. And then $10 a month is going to be AA sponsor. So,
Hell yeah, I love it.
but check it out. Hopefully that'll be launching next week in full. But news, AB 1775 has passed. It allows marijuana loungers to serve food in their establishments. It goes into effect in January, on January 1st, 2025.
No shit.
This was a really big problem for marijuana loungers because if they wanted to serve food or anything else like that,
pain in the
sell
ass,
drinks, everything, they actually had to get a secondary license. They had to actually be off premise. So a lot of places, lounges in general, would get a lounge, and then they would try to rent the place next to them or within a couple of doors, and then that's where they would actually end up sending. And then when you closed out, you'd have to close out with 2 tabs.
Yeah. I worked for a business that did that.
Yeah.
For hers. But yeah, it was a huge pain in the ass because you'd have to sell the cannabis throughout one route. We had to take alternate route to run all the way around into the front to sell it, and then they were allowed to enter the premises and they're able to smoke it, and or eat it, and then play video games. Like we had a fucking projectors. We had the fucking arcade game. It was pretty fucking sick.
That's cool.
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fucking sick. And like hanging out with just a bunch of stoned ass people, like usually pretty fucking chill.
Yeah.
So it was really cool, but it was an absolute pain in the ass on the business aspect of everything.
Yeah.
And then like it's so not fair to those who are trying to be entrepreneurs and grow out their business for the green rush. High hopes for this, but at this rate, we'll see what actually happens.
Yeah, we'll see exactly if that ends up.
Because 80% of the market is still black market.
Yeah.
Spent 3 years in the cannabis industry during the pandemic, I should say. And it was a bit crazy. It was fucking hectic. You know, it was a whole lot of, oh, what? You son of a bitch. You done did it again.
There we go. Sometimes, sir, I have a thought.
What if the magnet, imagine if you will, a magnet.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, it was wild time. And yeah, and 80% of the market is still black market because of the crazy taxations of fucking legalized cannabis.
Yeah.
So it's bullshit. And they're realizing now that all these businesses are going to close because the only way it's viable is mostly through like things like edibles, because those are vetted. And if anybody's listening to this that buys off the weed man, for sure, keep doing that. Just be cautious of your edibles because it's really hard to control those. Yeah. And most of the time, it's just tincture on top of a gummy as opposed to being infused in. So, yeah, be careful. Fentanyl's in everything.
Well, thanks, man. Other news. Did we talk about bar alcohol last week? I don't think we did, right? Did we?
No, I think we hit a hard slump.
Yeah, we hit a hard slump.
We were just talking shit about life.
Bar alcohol closed again.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're going to continue their proper residency at Quince through the end of the year. And Vogler, one of the guys who runs Bar Agricole, is also going to continue being a bar consultant for Quince's sister restaurant,
right,
Cotonia, and the soon to reopen Verjus.
Yeah, did you see that they posted today a blast about hiring servers and stuff like that? Do that menu. I thought about it, but I'm not gonna lie, because the fucking cash is superior.
Yeah.
And the menu looks fucking fantastic, and they also have a really, really cool talent coming from the East Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you then, that restaurant, will win a lot of accolades.
Oh yeah.
Because it should have won the first time around, but COVID fucking smashed it. But it was phenomenal, spectacular, truly. You know who actually worked there prior was the guy at Snail Bar.
Oh really?
Yeah. He basically just took the whole business model as well and opened it up in Oakland, which was a brilliant move on his end because we needed it over here.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's like a different kind of, I should say, a smaller version of it, but the concept of just having really good, really nice tasting food. God damn it! So yeah, phenomenal restaurant, and he's going to be doing mostly sourcing his spirits now too. If I read that right.
Yeah, single origin or something like that, where there's like no additives or whatever like that. Single estate. They'll release 12 new products this winter and will soon begin distributing to other restaurants and bars for the first time.
Cool.
The new bar alcohol releases will include a single estate Nocino, walnut liqueur,
Cool.
biodynamic certified gin, dry curacao, and an amaro that's been sweetened with honey as opposed to the standard industrial sweeteners.
Ooh.
Little do you know though, that 75% of honey is just fake in general.
Is
That's
it
besides
really?
the point. Yeah, no, it's all like sugar syrup pretty much. There's like very little actual honey out in the fucking.
That seems like
real
a
world.
very expensive.
Yeah. So he's probably getting like that, like South Asian honey, and he's like, "Oh, this is authentic." I was like, "No, dude, that's just sugar syrup, bro."
Shit, that's even in America, dude.
Yeah,
Most farmers get away with it, just
Yeah.
feeding their fucking bees sugar.
Yes, man. But yeah, no, I was able to. I know St. George has a rum with him, or a gin with him. I mean,
Uh-huh.
and then our boy Spency Poo, Mr. Cheeks, we call him, came in one day with it, and the thing was delicious. It was like super rose petally.
Really?
Very good gin.
It was like flower petals.
Flower petals. I think it
Interesting.
was rose petals they used in it, but it was very good. Damn, super tasty. And our rye beer. And
time to
while
get
we
into the
got
rye?
that, huh?
Is it time to get into the rye? Oh
Yeah,
no, the other
rye.
one. We have the other beer, huh? You're saying, is that what you're about to say?
No, I was going to say we have the Ruthless.
Oh, you want to get into that?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pause here for 3, 2. Wait, hold on. You want to finish your Senor Cachecas or Senor Nalgon?
Oh yeah. No, I was just saying that it was super floral, super tasty.
Yeah.
That's all. I already finished it.
Oh.
You just want me to talk about his cheeks.
He got me, folks.
You got me, son of a bitch.
In other news,
And then the funny thing, the story that kind of shocked me was that Santa Clara wine producer who got fined for letting his employee
bro, that shit is such bullshit.
live. What vineyard manager or whatever was like, COVID happened and he lost his house or whatever, and he's just like, oh yeah, you can just live. So he bought an RV and like moved onto his apartment, like onto his property and lived there.
Right. Hard times, man.
Dude. It was Michael and Kelly Ballard. But was that the people who were trying to build him something?
Yeah, they were trying to build him a house. Ran into a bunch of issues, COVID, zoning, red tapes, and so I think temporarily they had him living in an RV, and then they fined them for having that on the property, and then did it like $100 every consecutive day that it was on there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you guys have time to track this shit, but not the actual issues. Like what? Like it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. These people are trying to help people, right? And also, it's their fucking property. What does it matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the issue that got me bothered.
Since they're like growing food or whatever, quote unquote, it falls under that.
I don't know. That's
So there's
insane
just
to
like
me.
all these different fucking.
So what do
rules
they have
for
to?
it.
What do they have to do? Incorporate into a fucking C corp, whatever, and then fucking have the
What he has to
ability
do is he has to close his borders, and then become
build a wall.
some sort. Yes.
Imagine if you will.
And then start a commune that slowly turns into a cult.
Waco.
Yeah, and then they'll leave him, if it's a cult, they'll just leave him alone.
Really? That's all we got to do,
That's all you gotta do.
bro. Why don't we
Arm yourself. No, don't do that.
Hell yeah. Taking arms, brothers.
Yeah.
Government's gonna
But,
come here
they
and try
tried
to kick us
build,
out.
building so that they could live on it, but they ran into a bunch of red tape, a bunch of zoning issues like COVID and all these other things. But
I just said that.
did you really?
Yeah.
Shit.
What's the average rent then?
$2,600 per month.
Okay, so that's the issue, right?
Yeah.
We're coming down to the Santa Clara County. Santa Clara is expensive as fuck as is, right? And then, I mean, you got some statistics on like what it costs to actually live as a fucking person down here.
No, I just have housing figures.
What does it cost?
70.8% of all housing in the country is valued, in the county is valued at more than $1 million.
Santa Clara, Silicon
With
Valley.
only 5.8% less than 300,000.
Fuck, dude.
Those figures are 93.9% and 1.2% in Saratoga. So
okay.
93.9% of housing is valued at more than $1 million.
Hypothetically, you find a house at $300,000 in Santa Clara Valley. What the fuck does that look like, right?
It's probably a 1-bed, 1-bath,
Dilapidated.
like in a really horrible street.
How the fuck is anybody who works in agriculture, works in service, works in anything besides tech, besides banking, finance, high-end paying, those fucking really high-end, how are they supposed to survive in a place like this? It's just not existent, right?
Yeah, no, it's just not possible.
I mean, then we're seeing it more and more so every fucking day.
Especially if you want to keep good employees.
Dude.
And like, that's the thing. He's like, dude, this guy's a good employee. He's probably like,
Put the best one
video manager. So he wants to keep him on close to him. He doesn't want to lose him. And so what's he gonna do? So of course, he's like, yeah, fucking get RV, and then,
right.
I
remember back in what
live my pad.
2015, I was having a conversation with somebody. I forgot. I remember like the Lazy Bear group. They were talking about, I should say, Barsley when I was doing them. That was in 2015. That was like 2012, 2013. The conversation came up like, how do we have food service workers who get paid absolute shit, right? And how do we give them a place to live? And they were like, well, maybe we can rent out apartment buildings and then give them room and board. And he's like, but then we got into thinking about the actual process of giving a bunch of degenerate line cooks room and board who are co-ed and the repercussions of doing something like that. And so they axed it. They're like, no, we're not going to do that, which makes absolute sense,
Yeah.
like, because otherwise it'd just be complete debauchery.
Yeah.
Especially for a bunch of horny 20-year-olds that are fucking all about cooking.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that makes sense. But when you have like people that are working in agriculture, people that need places to stay,
They have families.
commuting fucking probably 5 hours from the Central Valley, like they're doing that drive every fucking day. That's what those labor vans are for, man.
Yeah.
And so you try to give your homie a break by letting him stay on your RV, and then your fucking county taxes your ass at $120K. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
I hope that shit falls flat. I hope they throw his shit away and he doesn't have to pay a dime.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, this is only a fucking minuscule anecdote of what is actually happening here.
Oh, yeah.
As we see tons and tons, I don't know what the actual figures are, but exponential rates of growth of homelessness or houselessness in these counties because of the income inequality and the fact that rent is so significantly high and minimum wage, or the wages that we make as service employees, is minuscule, and the buying power of this day and generation is absolutely fucking degraded to what it is. Anyway, I can get off my soapbox of economics because I don't know anything, but it's stupid as fuck.
No, it is. And it's funny too because, like I said, we've discussed it in previous episodes as well, that like the reason why pay doesn't go up is because they're all a large part of it is they're seeing entry level jobs, even if you work your way up, you get very minimal. You get very minimal pay bumps, and a lot of that key bumps on your hand. No, but pay bumps.
That's where all
A lot of
goes.
that is because the market's unstable as far as supplies go. Electricity goes up, rent goes up,
Right.
Supplies goes up.
Overhead.
Not just food or produce or meat or whatever, but also cleaning supplies, all these other things. Like, they're constantly creeping up slowly and slowly
Right.
and slowly. And, sometimes those ingredients jump. You'll see a $20 or $30 a
Fucking
pound.
COVID, bro.
This and that, dude.
We're looking at that now at the grocery
Yeah,
stores.
And it's like, oh no, we're and they always blame it on shortages. And then these studies come out a couple of years later. It's like, oh, there actually wasn't any storage. It's just corporate greed. And people are like, oh well,
Right.
that's just how it
Turns
is.
out they had
And
record profits for a reason.
Yeah, and you just
Strangest
buy-
thing.
What is happening?
But we don't know anything. Who
a
are
little
we?
bit of
Who are we?
critical thing.
God
and,
for fucking bid.
Seriously. And then I think we mentioned it last week, but I'll mention it again because actually a second article posted it. But Niku Restaurant
Niku.
Fest steak in California, according to Taste of Home.
Okay, what is this Taste of Home? I
It's
looked
just
at.
a magazine. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. Not to degrade Niku's accolade here because it's a fantastic steakhouse. From what I've heard, I've actually haven't been because I don't know. I can't really do a steakhouse these days. I don't know.
It's hard to do a steakhouse because you can make just as good of a steak at home,
That's the issue. I can't.
especially with
Maybe I can't buy a fucking A5, which I'm fine because I don't really care.
ribeye or something like
Yeah,
that.
ribeye. I need the beef, man. I grew up on traditional beef, so I need the flesh,
Yeah.
the chew. And if I wanted pork belly, I would buy pork belly.
Yeah.
And that's what that is to me. I'm just like whatever about it. Have you had that shit before? A5 Wagyu?
No, I never have.
It's literally just fat.
Some of us are poor, Daniel.
I'm me included. The only reason I tasted it was because I was selling it to people.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I got into that, right? It's because I was like, what does this taste
Out
like?
of the back of a trunk.
Out of a
You ever seen those meat vans? Show up to
turns
your
out it
neighborhood?
was just imagine if you will.
Yeah, I was about to say that right now. A van pulls up to your house. A sweaty Mexican gets out and goes, "Do you and your family love meat?" Sorry, guys, we got cut off for a second just because of we ran out of recording time. But I thought you said you could record as long as you want. That's so weird. Anyway, we watched a video right before this.
Right.
Every
Lies.
We told Jan
Bunch of
the first
goddamn
20 to
lies.
30 minutes of us recording is always just trying to remember how to record.
Right.
And then we record. We do this weekly, folks. This is what happens.
But we're changing. We're learning.
changing,
We're
we're
learning
learning,
new
yeah.
technologies.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you had an iPad.
There's always growth.
There's always room for growth.
There's always
China.
room to better yourself. Anyway, so we were talking about Niku. Yeah, Taste of Home is kind of like Sunset magazine. Sunset will be like, oh, this is the best whiskey.
That's what I used to read in my doctor's office.
Yeah, that's what they are. It's like it's a periodical that's made for
Gotcha.
so
You can't see it, but he's rubbing his fingers together.
you can't see
The
it,
middle,
but I've
the
just
index, and the thumb.
grabbed my cheeks.
That means money.
Yeah,
people
it's
for
for people with
money.
money,
Are you a suburban
drive around
housewife?
California.
Are you interested in what San Francisco has to offer? Come to NQ Steakhouse.
And then the other big news is demand, just like everything else with Scotch and tequila and all these other things.
Yeah.
Demand for Japanese whiskey softens after 10-year high. Great, because we just talked
Oh.
about Japanese whiskey at the beginning of this episode.
There we go, full circle.
Liam Hiller from Decanta, a spirits retailer, said that it is to be expected because it's leveling out. There was such a huge demand for it before,
Boomed.
and now there's not that much of a demand, so it's just leveling out in general, and it should be fine. Growth will be okay.
It was owned up to the massive amount of actual selection now, right?
Being able to, yeah. Well, like other business owners were like, it's much easier to find. Before it was much more difficult. Dude, I'll tell you a story.
Please do. Thought you never would.
You know, sometimes I have a story.
Imagine if you will.
Imagine if you will.
A
A
Mexican
sweaty Mexican.
telling his
Stocking
story.
bottles.
Locked up in a room.
Um,
So 5 stories high.
so when I first moved out to Fresno, I couldn't find a bartending job.
Uh-huh.
So I started working at Bevmo. I worked at a Bevmo for like 6 or
Sick.
7 months. And then
I've
I
always
got a
wanted to work
bartending
at
job and I quit. And then started bartending again. And then, but when I was there, they had Yamazaki 12.
Yeah.
And it was $35.
Fuck.
It was like 2008,
It was
2009.
back when you could drink it in a highball.
2007, 2008.
All right.
And I'm like, oh, damn, dude, that's like cheap. And one of my buddies, Dan Smith, shout out Dan Smith. If you ever found this, you're a phenomenal dude. Give me a call. Number's the same. And
And you can also find us at localdrunkspod.com.
you also find us at onlyfans.com.
Ooh.
Just send me a message and I'll give you a free.
Toe shots.
Yeah. We'll
Big toes peeled
Give you a
back.
little bit of that hair right above the crown,
Oh, no. The cherry top.
the cherry top. Who wants to pick my cherries?
Oh,
My
no.
dingle cherries.
Dingle cherries. That's the word of the day.
Drink, no, slam it.
Dingle cherries.
Why are they red? So,
I had chorizo.
Christ. And habanero sun. So we were,
So Dan tells you.
yeah, so Dan tells me, like, dude, you got to try some of that this now. Like,
He
yeah,
says-
cool. So we did this tradition, like every Friday we would all buy a bottle.
Sick.
And then we would all buy like a 6-pack.
Fuck yeah.
And like one Friday it was whiskey, one Friday it was like Kirsch's or like brandies, unaged brandies. Like we'd get a grappa or a
Like
Kirsch, something like
eau-de-vie.
that. And then one, was vodka, one was gin, one was this and that. So we'd all so there's 5 or 6 of us. We'd all buy a bottle and then we'd go to his house
That sounds fucking awesome.
and drink and this and that. So
This and that, huh?
yeah,
Tell us a little more about this.
He had a very large snake.
Whoa, damn,
And,
dog. How many whiskeys did you guys have?
His name was Cocktail after the French playwright. And
Did he paint you like one of his French girls?
It's a deep cut to the pest. And so
Far south.
seriously. When you sent me that meme and it was like when you lied on your resume, I was like, I gotta watch the movie again.
Dude, it's phenomenal.
But we ran out of it. Yamazaki, we ran out of it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have it for I think we ran out of it 2 months in me being there, and then we got a restock, I think, after I left.
Damn.
It was probably a year later. And that bottle was $65 a bottle.
Fuck, it doubled?
And I was like,
So the
what
demand was boomed,
the
huh?
fuck? And he
His
was
ass was like,
like,
you are
dude,
buying
he goes,
it.
you should have freaking blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I was like, Jesus
Should've
Christ.
brought
it
a,
was
hey,
so
bro, why
cheap.
don't you buy a pallet in
And then,
1990, bro?
Within that 6 months or a year, this Japanese whiskey prices skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude.
What year
nobody
was this?
Nobody wanted this 2007, 2008. I'm like, nobody wanted this stuff
7,
last
08,
year.
damn.
Yeah, no one wanted this stuff last year. And then suddenly it just
Now it's
caught.
hot. They all
Yeah.
want it.
But
You heard her first. Japanese whiskey. The Mike Jones of whiskey.
yeah, Mike Jones, product of Japan. So also 2 allocations jumped. Went from twice a year to once a month or once every other month. So they're just getting more of it. And then also auction houses. Fuck auction houses. But auction houses is set that they're like, oh my God. Rare whiskey? Yeah, just rare whiskeys in general, especially Japanese whiskeys, have just gone down. The median for has just dropped in general.
As he says that, we're looking at the price of, we're looking at Decanta. The price of the Karuzawa 1974 40-year-old blue and gold geisha. $90,000.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know about those shoulders on this one. Look at this.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know how I like that.
Hello, huh?
I think it's one of those I think it's supposed to be kind of framed like a woman in general, where they just have kind of really shapely,
No, I mean of the bottle, the liquor.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Is that way? Oh, you're saying it's draped down?
It's draped down, yeah. It's supposed to be kind of you're
Ooh.
draped down.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Get the line. This is the 4th time we fucking canceled the goddamn show. But auction house estate price of Japanese whiskey is down up to 30%, and the loss of whiskey flippers, who are probably the scum of the earth, who are buying whiskey, turn around and because they're just no longer getting the profits they're used to getting, they just stopped buying a bunch of whiskey.
Good. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, seriously.
I used to be about that whiskey flipping kind of life.
Yeah.
I used to be flipping some houses and some whiskeys, never houses. Then I realized, why am I buying all this shit? Because I would buy this shit and I would store them in this tiny ass closet that you see in here. And then I was like,
Next to the sex wing?
right next to the sex room. And the problem is,
Next to the gimp.
you have enough bottles.
Bring out the gimp.
They forget that it's not the dildo. It's actually just a bottle. So the next thing you know, I have a crap for whiskey.
So SoCal news. God. Michael Mina, San Francisco's prince of restaurants. That cheating whore. No, Michael Mina finally opens up Orla in Santa Monica. It's going to be a sister restaurant or extension of his Orla in Las Vegas.
And news just came in. It is now closed.
Yep, there we go. It was all money grab.
Oof.
Without the curries.
That was fast.
He never stands a chance. No, he already has 2 other restaurants in SoCal called Mother Tongue and Bourbon Steak. Didn't he have a Bourbon Steak?
Bourbon Steak was in, it was in the St. Francis Drake.
Yeah. And
bottom
then
floor.
did
I
he
applied
close
there.
it? Did he close it?
I imagine so. I haven't been there.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's open or not. But I remember Bourbon Steak, and then he did international. Remember International Smoke too?
Dude, my first job that I
Bourbon
ever
Steak
started
is
for,
closed.
the first job I ever started for outside of culinary school was at RN74.
Ooh.
That is where the original International Smoke was. It was a French restaurant.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
It was fucking awesome. I remember, dude, I've never been so intimidated in my fucking life though. Because I'm just like, they're like, hey,
What
they
about
called
when
me.
you
I was still drunk in
saw the
Fresno.
cheeks?
on my friend's recliner. 7 a.m. I remember. 7 a.m. My phone's ringing. I open my eyes halfway open. I'm looking at my phone. It says Michael Mina, and I was like, what the fuck? And I answer my phone, and they're like, hey, is this Daniel? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we're just calling you in because we want to see if you want to come in for a stage at RN74. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And they're like, yeah, when can you come in? And I was like, well, I'm out of town for this weekend, but like I come in next week. And I was so fucked up, man. It was bad. And so I agreed to it, and I go in, and I don't know what to expect right now. I'm just like, okay, I have my fucking Next Day Gourmet stamped out fucking rubber handle blade. Let me show you the blade that I took to this fine French establishment.
Okay. Holy Jesus. It's just, if you want to know exactly what it looks like, you just go into any restaurant supply store and be like, hey, I need a chef's knife, 9-incher. And then they'll be like, oh, like these white ones. They'll be like, do you have a black blade? And that's exactly what the fuck it looks
how
like.
much money are you trying to spend? And I'll say, none at all.
Yeah, it'd be like, yeah, I am a broke man.
I'm actually a chef.
In all honesty, though, dude, those blades last fucking forever, bro. If you talk to me and wave it at me, I take you more seriously.
Imagine if you will.
One Latino. Hey,
Holding
look
a
where
knife
they
at the
were
other
at.
end, yeah. Who's that?
RN74.
What the
on their Instagram.
fuck?
Back in like 2016.
Holy shit. Let me see if I can remember any of these pieces of shit. No, not one face.
Yep. Welcome
Dude,
to
look at the
restaurant
fucking
industry.
pots. That was when it must have just came in.
I think pot
16, yeah.
Pot E came in like 2016.
Yeah, the E's and 16. So
They
that just arrived.
installed it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because pot D was I think
208. 08.
2008. Yeah, you're right.
And then yeah, so I bring this fucking piece of horse shit into this fucking fine French establishment, man. And I swear, I shit you not, it was like very much like Kitchen Confidential when Bourdain goes to fucking Providence when he's going to fucking, he goes into that kitchen and sees them cooking for the first time. That's exactly what it felt like. So it's like one of the reasons like that shit resonated so hard with me is because that literally I had a very similar experience. I'm going into this guy's fucking the Garmo cook and the hot apps were together. This dude's arm was completely just fucking blistered over from hot grease, and this motherfucker was still just dumping shiitake mushroom, not shiitake, but matsutake mushroom in iodide foam, and he would dip them into the fryer and just like fire order after order after order after order. And meanwhile, they're telling me like, yo, just go prep some of these greens, go prep this. And I would take this fucking blade, dude. And they're like, this is how we need it right here. And they'd show me, and I didn't know how to sharpen my knife, dude. I had no fucking clue what I was doing. And I was like this? And they're like, they threw it away. Yeah, I go in there and I'm completely blown away. I don't know what I'm doing. I have a fucking shitty knife. I'm bruising every herb that I cut. It was so embarrassing. But from that moment forward was very important to me because that's when I told myself I will never enter a place again unprepared. And that's when I told myself anything that I do from here on out, I will learn how to fucking do right. And I will that because I never wanted to be embarrassed again like that in my life. And so because of that, it helped elevate me all the way in my culinary career, in my hospitality career, even my careers in general. Everything that I do in life now is because I never wanted to be embarrassed as much as I was in that fucking time and space. That shit was, it was agonizing. I was like, oh God, I've never been so ill prepared. But it was a very important lesson. Very important lesson in your 20s, you know?
Now, I've constantly, whenever I've gone and like interviewed and actually had to go and work at a spot for like a day or whatever to see if I liked it, because I have this thing, if I'm going to work at a spot or if I'm going to apply at a place, I have to go eat there first.
For sure.
And
I don't know what it's like.
See how service is, kind of get a good sense of how the managers treat their employees, get a good sense of the employees in general. I don't really ask the employees any questions in general.
Yeah, there's bias.
Just because it's weird.
What's your work-life balance?
Yeah. What's your pay
What's
like?
that?
And does the manager an asshole?
Shitty and shitty.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I kind of just watch and see how they interact. And then I already, excuse me. it gives me a good sense of who the hard workers are and who aren't.
Right.
Because sometimes when you do go into a spot as a new manager, these people who don't work very hard in general are like the ones who work the hardest to like try to fool you, and then as soon as they think they got in good with you, they just stop working.
Right.
So,
Yeah. The old bait and switch.
the old bait and switch. The master bait and switch.
The old master bait and switch. Imagine, if you will, a restaurant. What you thought you were
You are filled with competent people.
with the best workers, only to find out nobody knows how to cut herbs.
Just trying to this keeps going. Yeah, it was just definitely one of those. It's one of those weird things. Like you don't like to feel unprepared.
Yeah.
And sometimes it wouldn't matter how much prepared. Like they would send me. I'd ask for a menu. They send me one. And I try to memorize it. This and that.
Yeah.
I would always go in and be like, "Why am I?" Like you have that imposter syndrome too.
Yeah.
You have to fight that on top of like having to do
How did I get
your
in here?
actual fucking job
Dude.
and not screw anything up, and then not be like, "Oh hey, like I might be working here, guys, and I just screwed your whole night up." Yeah, that we're gonna, because it's very rare, like, unless you're in the kitchen in general, like if you're staging up front, it's very rare that they just don't bring the person on.
Yeah.
I would say the kitchen is one of those things that, like, dude, I worked at a spot where we'd stage fucking a ton of people.
Yeah.
And they're like, every single time, the chef was like, these fucking Clovis Culinary Institute assholes don't know how to fucking do anything.
Culinary Institute?
Yeah, it's
oh my god!
They used to be
Don't
a part
go
of,
to that
They
institution.
used to be a part of Institute of Technology.
Oh
And
no,
then
they got
They
scammed.
changed over to like Clovis Cooking Institute, or whatever
Phoenix
like
of
that.
Arizona.
Pretty much. It was a Trump Institute of cooking. And
Oh, you get hit with those daytime.
Yeah.
What are you doing on your couch? Get up and do something with your life, you piece of shit.
yeah, pretty much.
Pay $30,000 in predatory loans.
Yeah, it was pretty much Andrew Dice Clay, and telling you to become a baker.
Hell yeah.
And you're gonna end up in France.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to go bake a loaf of bread.
Phenomenal. And so yeah, so I don't know. I can't remember what I was talking about. But anyway, so you have that, everything. But yeah, that's one spot that they would constantly send people and they'd be like, nope, next, nope, next,
fuck.
nope, next. And then you sign up and get an intern because they would do their pay. So you'd be like, oh hey, like we'll pay them, just have them work for you.
Yeah.
We'd always sign up every single semester, like for a new intern. And then if you wanted to, you could hire that person.
Right.
Like it was another spot I worked. Almost every single time the chef was like, nope. I was like, hey man, how do you do? And then he's like, nope. And that's all he would say. I'm like, damn, dude, that rough, huh? And then the internship
At least
would
he had
last.
standards.
Yeah.
Because I know some
And
places
then-
would be like, bring him on.
Yeah, bodies are bodies, bro.
Right.
And it's and I want to say he was the intern for like a month. They were intern for like 3 weeks or some shit like that. Or 2
Yeah.
weeks. Half a month at least for sure. And then he would just know, like they're just prep chefing only. And they're just like, oh, I can't wait to get an actual job and like jump on pantry. I'm like, you're never gonna get a job, bro. You're never gonna get a job, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Good luck
just-
with that.
That's where it goes.
That's a hard one, man.
Yeah.
in
No,
those early stages, if you're not a head down and just ears open type person, you're fucked.
yeah.
For anybody
if
who
you're looking around,
20
you're
years
wasting
old,
time.
yeah. If you're 20 years old and you're listening to this and you want to get into the hospitality industry, keep your mouth shut and your ears fucking open. That's
Yep.
like the bottom line.
Yeah. Focus on your cuts.
Yep.
And
Take home bags of onions and learn how to chop those motherfuckers.
Yep. In all different types of ways.
Yeah. Bring us it.
Yeah, but it's just super weird because cooking is one of those things. I think we talked about it in a previous episode. Like cooking is one of those things that like you don't have to learn it out of school. It can be passed down, and it takes years. It's like a classic apprentice track, if you wanted to use that. A classic apprentice track is like 3 years. You're an apprentice for 3 years, and in that 3 years, that's enough time to learn what you need to learn so you can work in any kitchen
Some
anywhere.
basics, yeah. Some prep basics.
But
Saute
these people come out and they're like, hey, you could do the same thing, but in a classroom setting. And it's just like, it doesn't matter how busy the classroom gets. It's like, hey, cool. Like, hey, we're going to have a restaurant day. And guess what? Like 800 people are going to show up and it's just 20 of you guys and you have to feed them all.
Yeah.
And you can't fuck up. And
I remember that, yeah.
it's all, And then like that's cool. And people are like, oh shit, that was hard. I was like, cool. Like repeat that for the next 4 years of their life every single fucking day. And people can't fathom that.
No, it's very unfathomable.
It's hard to, really grip exactly how serious this is too, dude. Wrong sauce on a steak or wrong dressing on a salad affects someone's whole experience up of your restaurant
for sure.
And there's no going back, and you're just like, and it's like there's just that constant stress.
It's like, how can you make such a vital error?
Yeah, it's just how it goes, dude. I got told one time this guy was working at Alexander's Steakhouse.
Oh, you worked at Alexander's?
And I didn't, but this guy I worked with, this girl I worked with, actually, her husband used to manage over there. And he ended up managing, but he was in the kitchen, and they moved him up to front of house manager at some point.
Damn.
But while he was in the kitchen, sometimes they pull him up and have him like, hey, we need you to come in today. I know it's your day off, but we need a front of house manager or floor manager. So he'd come in.
And they still gave this poor man $40,000 a year.
Yeah, seriously. And what ended up happening was he had asked for, it was his day off. He came in to cover the floor. He had asked for allergens. They told me allergens. And he goes, cool, the steak sauce doesn't have it. That day, the kitchen had changed the sauce.
Ooh.
And it did have that in there.
Oh.
So he didn't mention it. And then he punched it in, the order in. Didn't say allergens, blah, 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 because he's like, oh, I know this for sure. Like, I just made the steak sauce yesterday. Like, it doesn't have it in there. And then they fucking hospital, right, dude? And it's just like, imagine that every fucking day.
Yeah.
And you can't unless you live it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking, similar situation happened at a restaurant that I was at. Honestly, though, I have a hard time with this one because, again, this is a child. And if you have a child with allergies, if your kid had an allergy and you go to a restaurant, how do you approach the allergy? You ask at every fucking course.
Exactly, yeah.
And you look at the fucking food, right? You're protective of the child. Anyway, this happened. No nuts, right? Gets to the cheese course, which is like one of the final courses. The cheese bread had pecans in it.
Yeah.
But server forgot. Gave it to the kid. Dude, there is clear chunks of this shit in it's figs and walnut, figs and nut, figs and pecan. I don't know, man. Again, it's just like as a parent, I would, and yeah. So a kid ended up going into fucking like anaphylactic shock, dude.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it was extreme. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, your kid's allergies that fucking bad. What are you doing taking him to restaurant? I don't know why we got a Brooklyn accent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey.
You always do that whenever you start getting like really
Let me tell you something.
Really testy about
Let me tell you something. I don't know what that is. Maybe everybody's got a little Andrew Dice Clay in them. So anyway, yeah. I don't understand it. Like,
if it was 1986, you'd be no truer statement ever be fucking said in the whole world. Everyone's got a little bit of Andrew Dice Clay in them.
Yeah, that's true. 20 years later. But you know, in a situation like that, I'm just like, okay, the parents should have been hyper vigilant, but also at the same time, like, if you're deathly allergic to something, there's always the risk of cross contamination. Like, I don't know. But maybe that's why you go to an expensive restaurant, you know?
For cross contamination. Anyway, so Michael Mina, he didn't run RN74, right? That wasn't his spot. I
think it was him and Andre Agassiz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. Andre Agassi. The great
Andre Agassi.
So anyway, so Michael Mina getting out there, spreading your wings. Good for you, man.
That was a scary time in my life.
I bet, dude. That's wild. They called you at 7 a.m. and you just like drove down there. Like,
I did not drive. I was fucked up.
Yeah.
I waited for the next week. I waited, and then I was like, I can't come to class today, guys. I have a stash. I thought I was all cool. And I was like, it's this little restaurant, you might know it, called RN74. And they're like, what's that?
What class was that?
Bro, I went to a bunch of kids with fucking, that ended up at a Cheesecake Factory. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. It's an extremely high volume
They
restaurant.
get full dental, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Killer benefits. Mm-hmm. Everything's measured out for you. It's a great going into the restaurants and like learning volume and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But I went to Job Corps.
Oh, okay.
It was absolute shit show. It's basically that what I'm telling you guys is it's basically juvenile hall
Yeah.
for poor kids.
That's wild.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. That was hella tight though.
And another news out of SoCal, Little Arabia District, founded in Anaheim. It's been around for a while.
What was it called before?
Because of the name, it's off of like Gazette Street. They would call it Little Gaza.
Uh-huh.
But of course, for fear of being bombed by Israel, they changed it.
Oh, shit.
No, Little Arabia District, founded in Anaheim.
I heard there was hummus
west
there. Is
of
that true?
Disneyland. It's hummus.
There's
It's
hummus
pronounced
there.
Hummus, yes.
I heard there was plenty of
And,
hummus.
There's yes.
And they eat it with pita? Is
Yeah,
that
it was pita, yeah. Little Arabia, and it's been kind of referred to that for the last 15 or 20 years. And then in August 2022, they voted it for the designation of the area. And then in 2023, they worked with Caltrans to put signs up on the highway.
Cool.
So it is just, like I said, west of Disneyland. It's probably like 3 blocks over.
And this isn't
And there's-
just
and
Aladdin
this
edition to
is-
Disneyland.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to be like. They originally wanted to call it Agrabah, a little Agrabah. And it was a straight, they had a shuttle that went straight from
Oh, hell yeah.
Prince
Ali.
same joke when I first read the article. I go, is Disneyland fucking with us right now? I know they own that town.
Just west of us.
Yeah, there's fucking Bengal tigers running around and shit.
You know what I heard? That you can find some good restaurants, like real diamonds in the rough over there.
Yeah.
Hell
There's
yeah.
one spot called Cave of Wonders. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
Cool.
I never.
But I keep getting kicked out of it.
One fun fact: one time I was so broke that I had to steal bread from a stand over there.
I think that's a kind of a short episode today, but I think
That was a short episode,
I don't know.
bro. I don't know about that. This is 2 different recordings.
I don't know how long. I thought they were recording the last 20, but they might last 40 minutes.
That'd make more sense actually. So yeah.
Anyway, you know where to find us? Instagram.
Local Drunks Pod.
You're looking at YouTube.
Local Drunks Pod.
Patreon. Hopefully next week we will be posting some stuff there, but you go to Patreon and put Local Drunks.
Drunks Pod. Imagine, if you will, a place that you can pay for people to,
And then
to say
also,
racial slanders.
If you think of any restaurants that remind you of like this is SF.
Yeah, what is the restaurant that makes you say this is San Francisco through
Yeah.
and through? And it can't be Condor Club because I know it's one of the oldest ones, and we all miss it. But it
Try
can't
to focus on one that's still open. But yeah, email us at localdrunkspod.
at gmail.com.
Thank you. And then this guy's like crushing it. Get a highball on him.
Hey,
Get some balls into him. And a couple
you
Shoguns.
put those balls real high. I'm crushing.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I
gonna.
mean?
Yeah, he ain't gonna stop.
I'm on it.
Yeah, if he chokes.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we
Well, this guy over here. Where does Bala Baby will come from?
Man.
And
Oh, it's been here.
it's been here. Act like you haven't.
You thought
noticed.
that was whiskey you were drinking? Imagine if you will.
Oils.
And
made
we
from
lost
baby.
all 4 of our viewers.
Oh, poor guy.
Thanks for
So,
thanks for
dude,
listening.
Nikki hit us up. So we ran into Nikki last week. Oh yeah, we went to Prize Fighter last week. Of course, we posted.
Oh,
the thing.
recap.
So we ended up going to Missouri Lounge. That was a pretty good spot.
Except
Pretty
for the
fun.
Play-Doh whiskey, but it was $8,
Yeah, it's
so
$8, yeah.
I
So
can't
you
really
can't
say
do
anything
that.
else besides
Yeah.
that.
$8 for a whiskey and a shot and a beer. Beer with Montucky.
Which is a fucking killer beer.
Montucky is delicious. They're like $1 a beer. They're phenomenal. It's hard to find a better beer at that price. Impossible almost.
Oh,
And then I see you Miller High Life fans. I was one of those as well. And it's a 12-pack for $7. Anyway, and then we
the
from
champagne
there,
of beers.
we went over to visit a friend of ours over at Prize Fighter, and then we crashed.
We did the interview with her?
James's- Yeah, we did a quick little snippet with her, and then we crashed James's party. Sorry, James, again, but
I'm
you
not.
look like you're having a great time.
You look like
It
you
is
can-
funny because literally
I watched you through the windows.
he literally walked. You walked up to the door, and he was like, "No, you go home." And I was like, "Oh, we shouldn't be here."
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Hey man, there's an inside and an outside.
Nikki was like, "I'm so bummed I left." So we ran to Nikki. Nikki's like, "Oh my god, I'm so bummed I left." She messaged me earlier, and she was like, "But it was time to go home." I go, "Yeah, you were pretty faded."
Damn, what time did that party start? Sheesh.
Dude, I think they were like 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were there.
early.
By the time we showed up there,
We got
it
late.
was
We
like
did a couple
it was
rounds.
like 3 hours later.
Fair enough.
But she was like, "Oh, I listened to the last episode." I go, "Oh yeah, the rum one." She goes, "Yeah, it was really good." And I go, "You didn't listen to the one before that?" And she's like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Don't we just talk smack on you for not listening anymore?" Anyway, so I'm gonna say that again because you probably won't listen to this episode. But if you do, at me, girl, come at me. But yeah,
You want down, bro? I got a next day gourmet right here with your name on it.
never need sharpening.
Sheesh.
It's never dull.
I just rub it against the rock.
That's how you do it. I got bricks in my house. I just rub it out.
Course walls.
But yeah, we're gonna plan on trying to hit a bar real quick. We'll record that experience and post it on Patreon this week.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, man. But no, last week's was a lot of fun. Prize Fighter was really good.
Shout out to the
Melissa,
team at Prize
yeah,
Fighter. Shout out to the team at Misery Lounge and the reopening.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
Nice upscale dive now.
Yeah, it really is an upscale.
There's that
dive.
there's that old dude with a cigarette in his mouth looking
Bro,
around.
that
like,
fool was lost. Like, Marty, where are we?
Yeah.
I went too far.
Yeah, he was.
The Missouri Lounge has
This
changed.
feels familiar.
He's like, I know this
but it
place,
looks.
but I don't know this place.
There's a lot of hot pants in
His
here.
pants were hanging down.
Dude, he was.
He was. Yeah,
He
he
went
was,
outside.
Yeah, I saw him. He was
outside,
out there
and I was
smoking
like, "Son, come
nostalgia.
get there, Alzheimer's."
I was like,
ridden
Grandpa, are you all right?
Yeah. I was like, good Lord. Whatever.
Hey,
man.
mister, you can't be here.
So,
Oh, fuck. Thanks for joining us, guys.
yep. Thank you very
Local
much.
Drunks Podcast. Send us with any information. I ain't saying words anymore.
Easy. Yeah. If you have anything, email us, localdrunkspod@gmail.com, or comment at the bottom of this. Like I said, if you're at the bottom of this, if you're YouTube or anything else. And also, like I said, if you're on Apple Podcast,
Please give us a rating.
Please give us a rating. 1 to 5. We prefer 5, but if you give us 1, we understand. We're making this fucking podcast.
I have a set of skills.
Fuck you guys.
I don't
Anyway.
use them to find you.
I'll use them.
I have a next day
to
gourmet knife.
try. Thanks, guys, very much. And,
Appreciate you.
We'll see you next week.
I
I might edit over that.